This is Lesson 107 in Saxon's second edition Algebra 1/2 book, Percent as a Rate. Okay, now I really like Saxon math. I think it is the best hands down, but sometimes I disagree with what they're teaching or the way they teach it. And this is one of those times. This is one of those lessons where I think it's in your book. It's going to talk about decimals and percents and fractions and how we've done those charts for a long time. And for example, 1/5 of a number equals 2/10 of a number, which also is equal to 20% of the number. And we've been using two different percent equations. One as a rate or a ratio, and one more of a typical equation. When percent problems are worked in engineering or in business, the decimal equivalent is used instead of percent. The decimal equivalent is called the rate, and the rate is the percent divided by 100. So we're going to take what the words say and turn them into an equation that we can solve. But in the past, we have been working this, say, as 20 over 100. And today we're going to not do that. We're going to do 0.2, which is 20%. So we're going to say 20% of what number? Of means multiply, and because we're multiplying, you don't have to put that sign in between, 0.2n equals 160. Well, to get n by itself, we're going to need to divide by 0.2, which means we will divide 160 by 0.2, and then when we do that, we're going to see that our answer is 800. So 20% of 800 is 160. Alright, example number 2 says, what percent of 40 is 120? And your book says use rate times of equals is, and in this case it would be rate times 40 equals 120. And when you divide 120 by 40, you're going to get 3. However, 3, the whole number 3 as a decimal, is actually 300%. Okay, so the whole number 1 stands for 100%. It's a whole. 3 then stands for 300%. So my fear when you do it like this, using rate for a problem like this, on the last problem it was fine, but on this where you're looking for the percent and you don't know what the percent is, I think it is still better to say P over 100 times 40 equals 120. And you know then that you're going to divide both sides by 40. And you're going to get P over 100 equals 3. Then you're going to need to come back like you've always done. This will remind you to do this, I believe, and get the right answer of 300 instead of the wrong answer of 3. Alright, now here we're given the percent, so we can use our decimal. 20% is 0.2 of 400, or times 400, since we're using decimals, we'll use the x, is what number? N is what we're looking for. So in this one, we're simply going to do the math. We're going to multiply 0.2 times 400, and our answer then is 80, is the number. So 80 then is 20% of 400. Alright, let's work our practice problems. 30% of what number is 63? So I can say 0.3, which is 30% of what number is 63. When I divide by 0.3, I'm going to find that my answer is, if you need to do it this way, you can. And my answer is 210. So 30% of 210 is 63, or 63 is 30% of 210. Okay, now this one is one of the ones where I want you to continue to use P over 100 times 4 equals 80. We're going to divide by 4 on both sides and say P over 100 equals 20, and then we're still going to have to multiply by 100. P is equal to 2,000. So 80 is 2,000% of 4. It's way, 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 way bigger than 4, in other words. Alright, in this one, what percent, we're not given a percent, so what percent of 400 is 0.8? Well, I'm going to need to divide by 400. Get rid of that. P over 100 equals, and I'm going to divide 400 into 0.8, bring up the decimal, add some zeros, fill in my places, and 400 will go into 800 2 times. So 0.002, and then I'm going to say times 100. P is equal to, because it's times 100 and there's 2 zeros, I'm going to move this 2 places, and P is equal to 2. I'm sorry, not 2. 0.2. Alright, good job, and I'll see you back next time for lesson 108.